Belum. Kamu tadi udah remind lagi peserta ya?
Iya Pak, ini udah mau dimasukin Pak pesertanya?
Belum. Oke ya, saya masukin ya.
Baik Pak.
Ya, silakan.
Oke, saya mulai ya Pak.
Ya.
Selamat siang, Bapak, Ibu, rekan-rekan semua. Saya Putri, MC pada kegiatan kita siang ini. Mohon bersabar menunggu peserta yang lain. Tetap pastikan mic Anda dalam posisi mute selama kegiatan berlangsung. Kita akan memulai 5 menit lagi.
Silakan Putri.
Selamat siang Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan kita.
Putri freeze ya. Halo.
Dan komunikasi nasional diadakan oleh Event Cerdas Mitra Transformasi Digital Anda. Didukung juga oleh media partner biskom.web.id, portal teknologi informasi, komunikasi, dan hukum. This event is supported by ITxMakademi Indonesia ICT Business Association, Event Cerdas Your Digital Transformation, partner and biskom.web.id IT and Law Portal. Webinar ini akan dimoderator oleh Fanky Christian selaku Ketua ITxMakademi DKI Jakarta. Kami persilakan kepada Pak Fanky.
Ya, baik. Terima kasih Putri. Selamat siang Bapak Ibu rekan. Selamat bertemu kembali dalam kegiatan kita dalam ITxMakademi ya. Jadi senang sekali saya melihat teman-teman bisa bergabung dalam kegiatan kita pada siang kali ini. Izinkan saya menyapa dulu teman-teman semua yang mungkin baru pertama kali bertemu lagi setelah kita libur Lebaran. Saya ingin menyampaikan mohon maaf lahir dan batin untuk kita semua. Dan kembali kita akan masuk ke sesi yang menarik pada siang kali ini. Kita akan coba bahas tentang monitoring your data center ya. Nah, di ITxMakademi kita akan bicara tentang banyak solusi terkait dengan IT Service Management, IT Operation Management, dan IT Asset Management. Nah, secara khusus pada siang kali ini kita akan coba membahas lebih spesifik terkait dengan monitoring data center. Seperti yang kita sudah ketahui dalam kegiatan kami di bulan Mei ini, kita akan bahas banyak tentang IT, khususnya tentang data center. Nah, yang kali ini kita akan coba bahas monitoring data center dengan menggunakan produk Infraon. Tadi teman-teman sudah lihat sedikit tentang videonya, di mana produk Infraon ini merupakan produk yang ada beberapa modul. Yang pertama adalah InfraonIMS, kemudian ada InfraonDesk, ya, dan produk ini biasanya digunakan untuk monitoring perangkat berbasis IP, SNMP, kemudian juga bisa digunakan untuk berbagai terkait dengan monitoring data center. Nah, nanti kita akan coba dengar langsung pemaparan yang akan disampaikan oleh Mr. Manish dari Everest IMS yang merupakan prinsipal ya dari produk Infraon. Nah, produk Infraon ini sendiri sebetulnya sudah dikenal lama di luar Indonesia, tapi baru tahun ini masuk ke Indonesia dan kami di PT Kota Cerdas Indonesia menangani produk ini selaku distributor. Jadi buat teman-teman perusahaan IT yang ingin nanti tahu lebih banyak terkait dengan produk dan pricing, nanti bisa membuat sesi terpisah terkait dengan informasi produknya. Nah, yang kita akan coba lihat kali ini adalah InfraonIMS, tapi tidak tertutup kemungkinan juga karena biasanya dalam data center kita sudah ada keperluan untuk melakukan asset management. Nah, asset management ini biasanya kita akan menggunakan produk InfraonDesk. Ya, oke. Sebagian besar presentasi nanti akan dalam bahasa Inggris. Jadi nanti silakan apabila ada pertanyaan, teman-teman bisa bertanya di kolom chat. Nanti sampaikan di chat. Setelah itu nanti saya akan bacakan untuk kita semua. Ya, baik. I would like to invite Mr. Manish. Halo Manish.
Hello, Fanky.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Manish, it's your turn to share the information about the InfraonIMS for monitoring the data center. The screen is yours.
Sure. Thank you, Frankie. So thank you everyone for joining again. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Manish Mohan. I handle the pre-sales for Everest IMS Technologies for the Southeast Asia region. Along with me, I have Abhishek, who is the region sales manager for Southeast Asia. And we have Noor as well, who is another pre-sales colleague from our team. So let me just share my screen and we'll start discussion. So I hope the screen is visible. So Everest IMS Technologies, everyone, so we have been in the industry, we have been in the software industry for more than 14 plus years now as a solution. Okay, so we have been working alongside with one of the largest Japanese telecom, which is called as KDDI Group. Okay, so we were part of KDDI's network division, and ever since 2017, the people who were associated with Everest IMS, we have bought the IP rights from the KDDI Group, and since 2017, we have been an independent Indian-based company. Okay. So, and with our headquarters in Bangalore, so we have an entire data center as well as our NOC operations, which are conducted from the Bangalore itself. Okay, we also have a 24/7 support center through which we are providing after-sales support to all our customers. Over these years, we have been able to penetrate India quite deep. So we have offices in different regions. Okay, along with it, we also have presence, or we have some customers under the Middle East areas, even the Southeast Asia, Middle East, as well as the US markets as well. Okay, so we have more than 250 plus global customers, and these are all I'm talking about from the past 5 years. Okay, so the company has been doing fairly good in terms of the market share that we are capturing with respect to our competitors, in terms of the support that we are providing to our customers, right? So we have been doing pretty good in that space. Okay, in terms of certain awards, so we have received quite a lot of awards during the initial phase or during the first 3 years of our tenure. Okay, so we have 13 process certifications by Pink Elephant for our ITxM tool, which is the help desk and ticket management tool. Okay, then we have OWASP, a security certification, which is done for all of our enterprise applications, which makes sure that there are no open vulnerabilities in any of our enterprise product. Okay, so be it our network monitoring product or be it the ITSM or the service desk tool. Okay. We were part of India's 500 Startup Awards in 2019. We have won certain, international startup awards in 2019 itself. And as an organization, we are certified on ISO 20001 2018, ISO 9001, ISO 27001 for IT service management, and also ISO and IEC 25010 2011. So in terms of the standard regulations, or in terms of the certifications we have done, we are in a very good position with respect to our partner with our competitors. So if I take an example, so the 13 process certifications which are there, that itself makes our ticketing tool one of the top 10 or top 12 global players who have these many certifications or who has these many processes that are certified by Pink Elephant. Okay. In terms of the product offerings, so yeah. So these are our core offerings. Okay, so we have a separate division for unified telecom offering, which is basically due to the fact that we were part of a telecom. We were part of KDDI Group, which is the largest telecom in Japan. Okay, so that is where we understand how the telecom environment works, how the OSS and UNMS architecture works. Okay, so we are there in that domain. So there is an entire separate division. And for the rest of the areas, we have a unified enterprise offerings, okay, which includes the three core products, which is InfraonIMS, Infraon Desk, and Infraon NCCL. Okay, so we are going to discuss about these products one by one. Okay, just a brief about it before. So, InfraonIMS is basically a network monitoring tool, okay, which monitors not only the data center infrastructure, but also the peripheral devices and your services and servers as well. Okay, and Infraon Desk, it is the service desk or the ticketing tool from our arsenal. Okay, so we have all the processes like incident management, problem management, change management, asset management, request management, even the SLAs and the knowledge base articles and all. Okay, so these are all certified as well by ITIL based on ITIL frameworks. And then third, we have the NCCM, Infraon NCCM, which is the network configuration and change management tool. Okay, so this tool is specific to the network devices, configuring the network devices, upgrading the form, checking out the vulnerabilities and all, is specific to network devices only. Okay, so we'll talk about these products one by one. So if you have any queries, please feel free to unmute, or you can put it in the chat. We'll be happy to look into it. Once. Okay, so first off is the InfraonIMS, which is the infrastructure monitoring system. So so before we talk about the different modules, so first of all, the IMS tool is a complete agentless monitoring tool. So we do not deploy any agents on any of the target devices, be it your network device, or be it your routers, firewalls, switches, or your servers, right? Your Linux servers, your VM servers. So we are not using any agents to monitor the systems. We monitor it using the industry standard protocols, so like SNMP, WMI, or SSH, or Arbon. These protocols we are using for the monitoring purposes. Okay, and the tool is built on Python language along with Postgres SQL as the backend database. Okay, and we are currently hosting or we are currently installing our tool in Oracle Linux. So both your Oracle Linux as well as your Postgres SQL, they are both freewares. So you don't have to invest on buying Microsoft OS licenses or Microsoft database licenses and so on. Okay, so when we talk about different modules under IMS, so first and foremost, whenever you are monitoring your data center infrastructure, right? So the first thing that comes into mind is whenever there is a fault in the network, right? So you need to be alerted about it, right? So as soon as my router goes down, or even before that, I should get an alert that these are the current status of your routers, and it might go down, or this device is currently down. Right? So that comes under the fault and performance management, where what we do is we monitor the different data center devices, okay, based on different thresholds. Okay, so for example, I'm monitoring a particular router, and I'm checking out the bandwidth utilization for one specific port, right? So what I'm going to do is what Everest IMS has is we have a set of thresholds which are which comes by default from the tool within the tool itself. Okay, and you can create further thresholds based on your requirement. But what it does is once, as and when the threshold is breached, it automatically sends out an alert. Okay, depending on what mechanism we have specified, whether we are sending it via emails, whether we are sending it via SMS or to a third-party tool, we can send out that alarm information. Okay, so basically your fault and performance management goes hand in hand. So the moment the moment the performance management module finds that a particular threshold has been breached, the fault management will kicks in, and it will send out an alert to the respective stakeholders. Then we have network and traffic management. So once we have discovered the entire network, right? So once we have discovered the devices which are in the data center, so we can create a topology view, based on LLDP and CDP protocols. So this is something which is automatically generated. Okay, and you can see which device is connected to which device and what is the current bandwidth in between them. Okay, along with this, you can also, just do a right click, and if you want to access that device using SSH or Telnet, we provide that option as well. Okay, and then when it comes to traffic management, so what we do is we capture different flows from different zones. Okay, so basically from your core devices, we are capturing different flows, and based on that, we are able to identify who are the top talkers in the network, what are the top devices who are consuming most of the bandwidth, right? So in case there is a specific user from whom the network is getting choked, or if there is a congestion in the network, right? So those details you can find out using the traffic flow management part. Then we have server and application management. So we do all these servers. So basically your physical servers as well as virtual servers. Okay, and in virtual we support VMware, we support Hyper-V, we support Nutanix, and we also support Citrix virtual servers. Okay, so I think all the major platforms we are covering. Okay, and whenever we are doing a server monitoring, we can also monitor the processes and the services which are running on those servers. Okay, so that's what involves in our application management module, where we are able to identify any process or any services which are related to a particular application. We can identify whether that process is currently up or down. What is the CPU utilization, or what is the memory utilization of that process? Along with that, we can, if there is a process which is or a service which is supposed to be running, but currently it is in a hang state or something, right? So what we can do is we can use a simple batch script using which we can automate that whenever there is a service which is supposed to be up all the time, if it is down or if it is in a hang state, my system will itself reload or restart that service, so that it is working properly. Then we have dashboards and analysis. So see, all the data that is being collected from the data center, from all the devices, the main the main thing is how we are presenting this data. And what Everest does is we have a specific set of dashboards which comes out of the box. Okay, and what we do is we give our customers the ability to create their own dashboards, to create their own reports. You can edit the dashboards, you can see, or you can create maybe one dashboard for specific, which is specific to the network devices, one dashboard which is specific to the server devices, right? So there is a lot of configuration available from the GUI itself. You don't have to customize a lot of things. You can directly create your own dashboards and your own reports based on your requirements. Okay. Then we have the GeoMap. So basically, we talked about the topology view. So in same views, what happens is we have different views available. So one is the topology view, which is automatically created. Then we have a GeoMap where we can plot the devices latitude and longitude in the Google map or something. And then we have a network diagram. Okay, so network diagram is basically, I'm sure a lot of you guys will have a specific network architecture of your data center, or how the devices are connected to each other. And many of you would have created an architecture diagram in Microsoft Visio or some other tool, right? And it is usually stuck in every network engineer's cabin or every network engineer's cubicle. So what we provide you is you can create your own network architecture diagram from within our tool, and it is quite similar to Microsoft Visio. So you can simply drag and drop different icons. You can drag and drop routers, server switches, and then connect them, provide the IP address. And the best part is the diagram, once it has been configured, it will also monitor those devices which are there in that particular diagram. Okay. And it will color code, it will give you the information that if any device is currently it is showing as red, so it will mean that there are some critical alarms on it. If it is yellow, it shows some minor alarms, right? If it's orange, it shows some major alarms and so on. Then we have the role-based user access privileges. So the entire system, entire NMS tool will have role-based access control built into it. Okay, so depending on what role you have, you have provided to the users, okay, they will be able to access only that specific region of the tool. Okay, we can restrict it in terms of that whenever a network engineer joins in, or whenever a network engineer logs in, he will only be able to see the devices which are associated with them. So they will not be able to see any servers. They will not be able to see what is the current status of any other devices apart from the network devices, right? So that way you can create different views based on different roles of the users. Okay, and you can also specify different privileges. Okay, so you can specify whether they can edit, add, modify, or execute certain things within the tool. Okay, then we have multi-mode notifications and escalation. So whenever we are doing whenever there is a fault, right? So we are providing different channels from using which you can send out these notifications. Okay, so whenever a router goes down, the immediate response would be you need to specify the network engineer, or you need to specify the network administrator, right? So there are multiple ways of doing that. You can either send out a SMS to that person. You can send out a notification from the tool itself, or you can also send out the email notification. Okay. And other than this, we also support, which we'll talk about it also. We support third-party integrations where, or we have our own ticketing tool, where once the IMS receives that a router is currently down, it can immediately send that alert to the ITSM platform, and the ITSM will in turn create a ticket on it, and it will assign it to a particular engineer, and then it will follow the entire ticketing lifecycle. Then, like I mentioned, so we support third-party API integrations as well. So in case you already have a ticketing tool with which you want to integrate our NMS, or if you have an NMS where you want to integrate with our ticketing tool, so we can do those kind of integrations. We are open for that, provided that your other vendor also supports us, as it's going to be a two-way integration. Then last but not the least, we have correlation and rule engine, which works using your topology or topology hierarchy that we have discovered. Okay, so we can identify what are the devices which are connected to each other, and if there is an intermediate device which is gone down and there are multiple devices connected to it, right? So what happens is the system will not understand if the end devices are down or not, since the connecting device itself has gone down. So in such scenarios, the system will generate a root alarm, which will provide you with the information that the intermediate or the connecting device which is available, that is the one which is currently down, and the rest of the devices may or may not be down due to this. Okay, so basically, you get to see a root alarm and child alarms, okay, based on that. Then the second tool in our purview is the Infraon desk, okay, which is the ITSM tool or the ticketing tool. Okay, so how a ticketing tool helps in the data center is basically whenever there is any network engineer or any users who are facing any issues, right? So there might be some router which is currently down, there might be some server which is currently down, right? And all of these, you will be having different SLAs for different types of devices. You will be having different SLAs for different vendors, right? Right. So if you have if you have a router from Cisco, you will have some SLA from Cisco where they have to work out the resolution within 8 hours or 12 hours or so, right? So these kind of scenarios or these kind of use cases can be worked out on an ITSM tool, where as and when a router goes down, okay, so NMS will be receiving the alert and it will immediately send that information to the ITSM tool, and ITSM will in turn create a ticket and assign it to a network engineer. Okay, so that way, without even a manual intervention, the moment a fault has occurred, you can create an incident. You can inform the required personnel, and you can assign the incident itself to a basically, the Infraon desk tool provides a lot of different processes. So like you have incident management, like whenever there is an incident, it follows the entire life cycle of the incident from different states. Okay, so we have different state and status, which is based on the ITIL standards. Okay, then you have problem management. So any incident which keeps on recurring, right? So let's say if there is a specific if you have ordered for, let's say, 15 or 20 switches, and every switch, it starts behaving the same way, or the same issue, gets repeated on every of these switches, right? So then that becomes a problem, and then problem needs to have a proper solution. It needs to have a root cause analysis done, right? So Infraon desk tool helps you to convert these, such incidents into problems, and then work out on a root cause. It will help you with the root cause analysis reports. It will help you to assign it to specific engineers to properly work on it, right? So the entire problem lifecycle will be handled using the problem management area. Then we also have, so the entire tool is workflow driven. So, basically you can define for every process, so like for incident process, how a ticket is going to flow from one state to another. Okay, similarly for a problem management, how is it going to flow? For a request management, how is it going to flow, right? So to give you an example, so when we talk about incident management, right? So incident management will normally not require any kind of approvals that needs to be taken from anyone, right? Whereas if we talk about request management, so if a network engineer is requesting for a RAM upgradation for any of these servers or router or any device, right? So in such scenarios, there will be some some permissions or some approvals that would be required, since buying additional RAM would incur some cost, right? So based on that, you can define different stages, or you can define different workflow for request management, and you can define a separate workflow for the incident management. Okay. Then we also provide the users with a self-service portal. So in case the users want to raise any ticket by themselves, okay, and they do not want to call up the help desk and raise the incident, so they can directly log into their portal and they can create a ticket by themselves as well. Okay. Then we have change management, change and release management. Okay, we are providing you with different Kanban boards so that you can identify or you can visualize the change properly. seeing what are the benefits of the change, what would be the impact of the change, and we also help you with the risk assessment as well. So in case the change is taking too much time, or how many steps are involved in a specific change, right? So these also help you to understand the risk involved in any of these changes that are there. Okay, so then the ITxM solution also is available on SaaS as well as on it is available on SaaS as well as on premise. Okay, so currently we have hosted our solution under the AWS platform. Okay, from where we are providing our customers, subscription-based licenses. In case anyone is interested to go for an on-premise license where they want everything to be on their data center, or everything they want it to be in their their premise, we help them with the hardware sizing that would be required. Okay, and based on that, they can go for, or they can decide what kind of model they want to choose. Then the third core product is the Infraon NCCM. Okay, so you have the Infraon IMS, you have the Infraon desk. IMS keeps on monitoring your network. Infraon desk works out any of the incidents that are available, or it helps you for the change management and a lot of other workflow automations as well. Okay, but when it comes to NCCM, so NCCM is a little different. So NCCM talks about the network configuration and change management. Okay, so it is basically a network automation, audit, and compliance system. Okay, so what we do is we download the configurations of all the network devices. Okay, and this is specifically for the network devices which supports CLI access. Okay, so any of these devices, we can download the configurations, we can upload the configurations, and we can identify if there are any changes in the configuration from the previous download. And if there are any changes, we can highlight them with different color codes, and we can showcase it to the different users or the respective stakeholders as well. Okay. We also work out, we can also capture the real-time configuration change, where any changes that have been done in any of the devices can be immediately reported to the respective stakeholders. Okay. Then we provide a detailed inventory management with end of life and end of support monitoring as well. So the NCCM is capable of identifying these informations, and based on that, we can generate an alarm that this particular device is approaching its end of life, or it is approaching an end of sale. So, and we also capture the inventory information, like what are the hardware modules associated to that network device? Are there any SFPs? What are the different users who have, or what are the different accounts in the in this particular in any of these particular devices, right? What are the users that are involved? What is the chassis information? So it's a very detailed inventory information, which is done using the NCCM tool. Then we have routine task automation plus task orchestration. So like I mentioned, so Infraon NCCM is a network automation tool. Okay, so it helps you with the automation for your different devices. Okay, so so when we talk about task automation, so it can be as simple as updating the ACL list of a device, or doing a ping check for all the devices available. So instead of doing ping check one by one, we create a script which will help you to do it all at once. Okay. Okay. So these are one of the the simplest tasks that can be executed in the NCCM tool. We also support complex tasks in terms of whether it is a management. Whether it is to create a VLAN or MPLS creations, right? So those details also, or those tasks as well, we can automate. Then we have vulnerability detection plus remediation. So here, when we talk about vulnerability, so it is more towards the hardware vulnerability, okay, where if there is a if there is any vulnerability information available within the OEM's repositories, so we can capture that information and we can give you a solution based on that. Okay, so we provide you, if there is any patch available, we can download that patch, and then later you can, the network administrator can upload that patch into the device. Okay. Then we do a standard policy compliances. So your PCI DSS, your NIST compliance, or we have a golden template as well, where you can create your own policy or your own set of rules. Okay, so every data center, they normally have certain ports, certain protocols which are blocked, right? So using the configuration information or using the device information, we can capture that whether all the devices in that data center are adhering to these policies or not. Okay, and if we find that there is a device which is currently, in which port 22 for SSH should be blocked, but currently it is open, so we can directly communicate or we can provide the information to the respective stakeholders. Okay, then we have the auditing and CLI recording. So, okay, so we talked about how you can use these. You can use the NCCM tool for configuration backups, uploading the configurations, pushing the configurations. There is one more thing which is, you can also take telnet or SSH access of any of the devices which are discovered in the NCCM tool. Okay, so you can use SSH or telnet program protocol where using which you can access the device as well. Okay, and whenever you do that, so whenever you are accessing a device via CLI or via SSH, so what happens is we are completely recording that session. That entire screen gets recorded. Okay, so whenever you want to call out for a let's say if you want to see in any of these historical events, if there was an event where a particular command was executed or not, right? So in such scenarios, you capture the entire CLI recording where you can, look into these kind of activities. Okay, and we also provide you with a command-based search option. Okay, so basically, if you want to search, like if you want to search how many people executed show SNMP command, right? So you will only have to enter show SNMP in the free text message, and the system will prompt you only those incidents where show SNMP has been mentioned during the command execution line. Okay. Then again, we have role-based access control. So here we have few additional features as compared to the NMS. Okay, so here what we do is we can control who can access what device. Okay, and once they have that access, what commands they can or cannot execute. Okay, so these details we can manage using the Infraon NCCM tool. Okay, so basically we have something called as authentication and authorization profile, where we can, first of all, we can control, like if I am a junior level network engineer, what are the devices that I can access? Okay, and similarly, if I can access a device, what are the commands that I can execute on those devices? Okay, so there might be, some reboot command or some any other, critical commands which I might not be allowed to execute. Okay, so you can control that information as well. So that is part of the Infraon NCCM tool. So when we talk about these three tools, right? So you have InfraonIMS, you have Infraon Desk, and you have Infraon NCCM. So these three tools we have been providing as different setups as well. Okay, and we can also provide them in an integrated suite where your IMS, your Infraon Desk, and your NCCM, they will all be integrated or tightly integrated with each other, and your IMS will provide you an AI ops based network monitoring tool, which will help you to monitor your cloud data centers, your physical data centers, your network and utility systems as well. So we are capable of monitoring the cloud, like your AWS, Azure, VM, Nutanix, and of course the entire data center. And we can also monitor the next generation network. So like your SD-WAN, your GPON, your MPLS, right? So these kind of networks also we are monitoring on a regular basis. Then we have, so whenever InfraonIMS detects a particular alarm in a router, what we can do is we can immediately send that information to the Infraon desk, where this alarm will be converted into a ticket. Okay, and once it is converted into a ticket, it will follow the entire ticketing life cycle. Okay, so right, being open to in progress, into on hold or resolved and closed, and finally it will go to the closed section. So what happens is when you are using an integrated platform, the moment InfraonIMS sends out an alert through to the Infraon desk, so and if there is any let's say configuration change or some automation required, so we can use the Infraon NCCM tool, okay, where you can directly automate the entire configuration change process as well for that particular device to get rid of the anomaly or to get rid of the emergency or that incident. Okay, so and also not just all the three tools, but any of these two tools can be combined together. Okay, so for example, if I talk about Infraon NCCM and Infraon Desk, right? So NCCM helps you with the automation of your network devices, right? So, but what if you want to have a change management process where whenever a device's configuration is needed to be changed, it needs to go through a proper channel, right? So then, although NCCM has its own what you can say is approval mechanism which is available, but it's not as extensive as Infraon ITSM tool. Okay, so where you can arrange for a cab members, you can also arrange who will be the in charge of you in case you were not or in case you don't have access to the systems, right? So these details you can capture using the Infraon desk, and the entire change management module can be incorporated within the NCCM, where not only for changing the configuration, but also for accessing any device, it can go through an approval cycle. Okay, so next is, yeah, so, okay, just give me a second.
Hello, Manish.
Yeah, 1 second, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I wanted to have a few more slides shared. Okay, so when we are using the Infraon tool, right? So we have, so since it's an AI-driven tool, so we have certain AI modules, we have certain machine learning predictions that we are doing. Okay, so AI bots, we have included three AI bots, which are basically chat bots, which help you to interact with the products. We have a diagnostic bot, which can do a first level of troubleshooting, and we have a threshold bots, which basically baselines the values, and all the threshold values can get automatically computed based on the previous data. Similarly, when we talk about the machine learning predictions, so we are doing certain capacity prediction, we are doing the power trend predictions, we are doing pattern analysis for future predictions, right? So even the alarm predictions based on the previously gathered data, we are able to capture for any of these data centers. Okay, and we can highlight that information to the respective stakeholders. This is, I think we can skip for now. Yeah, so when we talk about value propositions, so let's take enterprise suite for current session. So the core value proposition that we bring to the table is that all our tools are helping the companies to do a digital transformation using ML and AI. Okay, all our tools are integrated with each other, but they are also modular. Okay, so so that we can cater to each customer's requirement specifically. So there may be some customer who only require the NMS portion, or they only require the ITSM portion, right? So we have a modular approach as well as an integrated system for those who want the entire system to be taken at once. Okay, then we provide you with a complete visibility to your data center and NOC operations, from fault detection to ticket closure. Okay, so we have a strong correlation engine, and we can use the built-in automation scripts for network devices. For your data centers, for maintaining your compliances, you can create compliance templates in the tool, and based on that, the tool can identify if any of the devices are not adhering to any compliance that have been mentioned, right? Similarly, we can integrate with external systems as well. So external systems, like they can be CRM or ERP for data centralization, or even any kind of IVR, right? So we have the ITSM can also integrate with the IVR systems, okay, where you can directly call the end user as well in case they are facing any issues, right? And most important thing is there is no additional supporting software cost that is involved. Okay, so you don't have to buy Microsoft OS licenses. You don't have to buy, Microsoft SQL licenses or MySQL licenses. So basically, when you are using Everest, so we provide you with a virtual machine, or if you want to upload that information, or if you want to install the tool in a physical server, that also can be done. Okay, but the good thing is the Oracle and the database that we are using, they are both freeware, or they are both available over the internet. And in case any customer, or in case if you want to go for a licensed version OS, or basically a non-free OS, so we also support RHEL in such cases, okay, and our enterprise DB in such cases. This I think is fine. Okay, so some of the key customers over the years that we have gathered is basically in different domains we have captured different customers. So like in telecom, we have Reliance Jio, we have Airtel, Telecom Indonesia, we have Telecom Malaysia, Celcom as well. Then under BFSI, we have Citibank, we have UOB. Then in India banks, we have Federal Bank, Canara Bank, which is one of the biggest our customers. Okay, so you'll see that we have been penetrating all the different markets. These tools are created in such a way that it can monitor the data centers, as well as it can help you with the peripheral device monitoring. Okay, and so we currently, many of the banks in India are using our tool to monitor their data center infrastructures, and even the enterprises like L&T, or if you see, you have Cloud9, right? So they are all monitoring their data center devices using the Everest IMS tool. Okay, so this is it from my side. Abhishek, would you like to add anything, or the floor is open for Q&A. In case anyone has any queries, please feel free to ask. We'll be happy to help you. I think we still have 5 minutes to go before we need to conclude. So we can do a Q&A session. And going forward, if you want, if you want to see how the entire GUI looks like, or how the tool works. So we can arrange for an individual session for a demo. We have a demo setup which is available with us. So we can use that setup to showcase you a demo of the tool's GUI as well.
Okay. Thank you, Manish. I think we have some question from the audience. Hello, Manish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it in the chat?
Yeah, I will say to you. Yeah. From Pak Nanang, what kind of user or organization types does the Infraon IMS work with? I think there are some customer experience, yeah, customer.
Yeah, so see, there is no limitation onto that. So we have worked with government organizations, we have worked with enterprise organizations, BFSI, telecom. I think this would have answered his query, basically. So the tool is capable of working in different environments, okay, whether it is a telecom industry or a BFSI enterprise or even for the government industries.
Yeah. So basically, in monitoring, especially monitoring the data center, I think Infraon has a experience in telecom, BFSI, enterprise, and government, right?
Correct.
Okay, the next question, what language does Infraon support in their product? I think mostly in English, yeah, but is it possible to have the Bahasa version?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
What language does the Infraon IMS support in the product?
Okay, so by default, it's in English. Okay. Yeah. See, NMS anyways doesn't have too much of wordings per se. So mostly you'll see the data is like it shows this utilization and all. But we can check if if there is a specific requirement for the language, we can look into that. So our ITSM solution is also it is already capable of working in different languages. So we have already added the Arabic and other Middle East and some Middle East languages as well. Okay, and in ITSM we can add any language within a month's time. In NMS, I will have to check because it is more towards the monitoring area. So there is not much information that is shown in words. They are mostly numbers. What is the current percentage and all. So, but we can check if if there is a specific requirement. We can check into that.
Okay. What other application or services does Infraon IMS can integrate with?
See, Infraon, so all our tools we support REST APIs. Okay, so what we basically need is we do an API level integration. Okay, so to give you an example, we have integrated our solution with CRM solutions. We have integrated with ERPs. We have integrated with SIEM. Okay, and third-party ticketing tools also we have integrated. So it all depends whether we are receiving the API information or not from with which you want to integrate. Okay, REST APIs are nowadays commonly used by every other tool. Okay, so if they can share their APIs or they can call my API to capture the information or to gather the information, we can integrate the solution. We are open to integrate the solution with any third-party application.
Okay, the next question from Mr. Mulisin. Can we see the report of the Infraon? Is there any report related to the recommendation of the existing infrastructure? How the report can handle how many data in reporting?
Yes, just give me a second. I'll just quickly showcase the reporting section. And
Silakan Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan yang masih mau bertanya bisa sampaikan dulu di kolom chat ya, biar segera sekalian dibacakan.
Okay, okay, so I hope the screen is visible, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So when we talk about reports, right? So reports can be created like, for let's say for capacity of any device, right? So we have the AIOps reports which are available for any statistics. For any statistics, we can create a capacity planning report. Let me showcase you one here. Yeah, so this is an example. Okay, so which showcases that, over a couple of years, what has been the capacity of this particular resource, and going forward, what can be the capacity that would be required. Okay. One thing is to generate an AIOps report, you need a lot of data. So the system needs a lot of data to properly analyze it and to give you an accurate information. Okay, so we recommend a minimum of 6 to 9 months of data for some good accuracy. Okay, and based on that, we can generate these reports. So you can generate capacity planning report. You can generate, anomaly detection report, where you can identify that there might be some anomaly that might come in the near future. Okay, and we also do a prediction alarms, where the idea is to achieve a scenario of zero faults, where by using and analyzing the current performance trends, we are able to predict any future alarm. So here we can see that we can showcase that on 17th of August there might be a increase in the utilization of this particular resource, which might lead to an alarm level situation. So the gray area that you see is basically the lower range and the upper range. And the blue line, which you see, is actually the prediction line that we have. Okay, so these kind of reports you can generate using the tool itself. I hope that answers.
Yeah, I think there's a answer for Pak Muhsin, ya. How about the capacity of the reporting data?
Sorry?
What is the maximum capacity of data reporting?
For data retention?
Yes, I think, yeah, data retention, okay.
Okay, so for data retention, there is no restrictions or limitation from the tool side. Okay, so the more data you want to retain, the more storage you will be requiring, and same goes for the so the hardware sizing will vary based on the data retention policies.
Yeah. Okay, the next question from Pak Dimas: if Infraon can monitor, can be used to, if Infraon can be used with the OS Linux server.
So we are currently using Oracle Linux 8.5, I think, which is the latest version. Okay, we used to work on CentOS, but since from this year, I think CentOS is getting obsolete. So we have moved ourselves to the Oracle Linux platform. The motive here is to, not increase the total cost of ownership for any of these customers. Okay, we don't want any of them to buy additional licenses apart from the Everest licenses that they are going to buy. So if a customer already has an RHEL in place, so we can install our tool in the RHEL environment as well.
Okay. The next, what is the difference between Infraon with the similar application? I think there are some competitors already in this field, right?
Yeah, so there are, nowadays there are a lot of competitors. So, the major difference that we have seen is with some of our major competitors would be the licensing policy that we do. Okay, so we work on a very simple licensing policy where uh, every device that you're going to monitor, right? So it's going to be a one license for me. Okay. We do not go by the number of statistics. We do not go by the number of elements in any of the device. For us, a 48 port switch and a 24 port switch, they are both one license each. Okay. And the level of support that we have provided to our customers over these couple of years has been one of the reasons why the customers have kept on renewing their contracts with us. Okay, and the overall TCO or the overall cost of the software, if you talk about any other products, it is usually we are usually on the lower side. Okay, specifically when we talk about some major competitors like BMC or you have your HP OpenView or Micro Focus OpenView, you have SolarWinds and all. So we have gotten or we have given them a very difficult task to coping up with us. That I can be sure.
Okay. Okay. Move to the next question. I think from Kings. Yeah. The Infraon NCCM and can do the auditing plus CLI recording. What CLI language script these tools use? CMD or Bash script?
So we use Bash scripts for now.
No.
Okay. So what we do is when we are doing a CLI recording, right? So we are not only recording that those commands, we are recording the entire CLI screen itself. Okay, and what we do is so whenever you want to record such CLI sessions, so there is one catch that these session needs to be taken from the NCCM only. If they are taken from outside of NCCM, we cannot have any control on it. Okay, NCCM is more about handling the threats which are inside your network, not coming from the outside. For outside, you would already have a next generation firewall. You would have, IPS. You would have IDS and everything in your data center. But what if the internal people there which are involved in working with these network devices? What if there are certain or even if there can be something mishappening which has happened, right? So how can you control that? So for that, NCCM has come, NCCM has built up quite a good customer base over here, where you can not only control who can access the network, so they are already inside. They are authorized users, right? But still, if you want to have a proper control over, that Manish can only access these 5 devices. Okay, I do not want him to access any of the core device or any of the critical device. He can only access the regular devices, right? So in such scenarios, how do you cater that? Okay, and the best part is whenever you are taking CLI or SSX, whenever you are taking a CLI session, right, using the NCCM tool, so we will provide you with every information with regards to what changes have been made, who has made these changes, right? When was these changes made? So we do a complete configuration comparison from the previously downloaded version to the current downloaded version.
Okay. Okay, I think the next question is for me. How about the local support? I think the local support will be provided by our company, PT KCI, Kota Cerdas Indonesia. We have a local support already, and the principal support also possible. Yeah, gitu Pak King. Jadi supportnya nanti dari lokal sudah ada. Okay, I think that's the final questions, Manish. Okay, you can stop the share screen and I pass to Putri first. Ya, Putri silakan dipandu untuk foto bersama.
Bapak Ibu, rekan-rekan silakan aktifkan video. Kita akan foto bersama.
Ya, silakan Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan aktifkan videonya. Please turn on your video so we can capture video together ya.
Oke.
Silakan. Pak Nanang Harijanto
Silakan
sudah di
diaktifkan
kantor
videonya.
ya. Silakan. Silakan.
Oke. 1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi. 1, 2, 3.
Oke, sebelum pengumuman pemenang, Manish please or Abhishek the final words. Closing remark.
Abhishek, would you like to take that?
Thanks everyone for joining the session, and we are very much excited to work with you in future, and we are definitely working on putting some local support also, and as well as Fanky is there for you, and our 24/7 remote support is also there.
Yeah, thank you Abhishek. Thank you Manish for sharing the information about the Infraon product to audience ya. Jadi jangan lupa Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan, kita bisa bertemu kembali di sesi selanjutnya. Saya serahkan ke Putri untuk membacakan para pemenang kita, silakan.
Baik Pak. Pemenangnya ada 3 orang. Selamat kepada Nanang Harjanto sama Dimas Prasetyo dan King Hausen. Kami nanti akan hubungi ya Pak.
Oke. Baik, Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan, terima kasih untuk kebersamaannya. Sampai bertemu kembali di sesi selanjutnya. Nanti kalau misalnya ada pertanyaan terkait dengan produk ini, silakan kontak kami atau kontak call center-nya Event Cerdas ya. Di 0811 1472 260. Nanti teman-teman yang akan bantu untuk setup call atau video call ataupun presentation khusus ya. Tadi saya lihat ada beberapa teman-teman yang bertanya secara spesifik, nanti kita akan coba follow up. Terima kasih semua, sampai bertemu kembali di kegiatan kita selanjutnya di minggu depan ya. Terima kasih. Thank you Abhishek, thank you Manish. Ya, see you next week ya, see you next event.
Thank you.
Ya, terima kasih semua teman-teman, terima kasih.